Hey folks, this is Wistful Dio here, and I just got back from seeing Guardians 3 last night with my family. I know it's technically called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but I'm not gonna call it that in this video here. I'm just gonna call it Guardians 3 just for short. Anyway, me and my family went and go see it. My dad wanted to see it, so we went ahead and saw it last night. And honestly, I gotta say, it was just okay. Honestly, it's still pretty good. Don't get me wrong. It's still good as the others, but it's just not as good as the others. First things first is the story. I felt personally it wasn't as good as the others, and it felt a little too. I felt a little. It was a little too fan based. If you get what I'm saying, um, the runtime was definitely way too long. I felt like it overstayed its welcome. I felt like they could have easily cut a half hour or so off of it, and it's still good and everything. Don't get me wrong. I just felt like the runtime for this film was definitely way too long. It just kept dragging. There's some plot points that I did like. Obviously, from the trailers, Rocket's backstory. I'm gonna try and not get into too much spoilers because this film is still good for what it is. Honestly, it still is a good, fun film. I just feel like it's a little too bloated with its with some of its action scenes and everything. And the story I feel is definitely the weakest from the other two. Other two the other two films with its story was better. And it's not to say that this story was bad in any way by any means. It's still really good, but I just felt like it was too bloated. They didn't really go in too deep with like some of the characters or anything other than Rocket's backstory, but that's kind of like pretty much it. I felt like it was too complex with a lot of the stuff that they added in and everything. And yeah, but I feel like one of the things that I feel like is one of the weakest aspects is the main villain of this film. Again, I'm trying not to get into too much spoilers, but I just feel like the villain in this film was really lame. He was apparently he was this caregiver for Rocket back when he was young and little, and he just ends up being a predictable Adolf Hitler sci-fi maniac. That's what he pretty much is, cause he wants perfection or whatever. He wants the whole perfect utopian society of holy and shit and heavenly and whatnot, and was just such a perfectionist. And I felt like they could have definitely added more to his motivation or reasoning instead of him just being a yelling, screaming maniac, because that's what he pretty much was in this film. Um, some of the side characters I liked were okay. There's this talking dog from the trailers. This talking dog. She's okay. I was kind of expecting a bit more from her, but she does all right. There's this let's see what else is there. Yeah, there's some good plot points. There's like one to two heists that I did like in this film. There's this cool sequence where honestly a bit of spoilers, but Rocket gets hit and shot or whatever because there's this discount Marvel Captain Marvel guy or whatever. He's like the same actor from the Maze Runner series. I forgot what his name was, but I guarantee he's the same actor, and he's pretty much just a discount Captain Marvel character in some way. And I feel like it's a bit weaker because we barely know who the heck these guys are. I even think they're not even the same species as whatever Captain Marvel is, honestly. Practically just another Kryptonian from in Marvel that's practically a Kryptonian of Superman from DC or some shit. You know what I mean? So I felt like that was really off and everything. He was kind of an antagonist, but he ended up turning out to be more of a good guy around the end or whatever. So yeah, at the beginning, this intruder, this guy, he comes down, he starts kicking, ass and shit and everything. Um, he ends up shooting Rocket or whatever, to which he gets hurt real bad, and so the Guardians have to go and find a way to heal him up and everything. But he has this explosive device on his heart or whatever that they have to find a key and code and everything to, help crack it down and decode it or debunk it or whatever, so that he can live or whatever. And I felt like that was kind of okay. Again, I feel like it was a little bloated because then turns out it was this, but actually there's something else. So no, this guy, he has a key brain. He has like this chip key in his freaking brain or whatever because of this main villain maniac Hitler or whatever. So we have to go find him and everything. And it just felt like kind of like a find the MacGuffin thing from the Rise of Skywalker or whatever in Star Wars. It kind of became a little one thing after the other. And honestly, overall, going into this film, I didn't have too much high expectations. I mean, I had higher expectations from the other Marvel films, but I felt like with Marvel films lately, they've been really kind of just been dying out and running dry. And I know I'm not the same that feels this way. It just kind of feels like the Marvel films aren't really necessarily the same, especially going into this one. Overall, this film it's just decent, and I know that may sound disappointing to some of you folks who are actual big Marvel fans and everything. I'm a big Marvel fan. It's just lately I just can't really get into them too much. I'm not interested in any of the billions of shows they have now, and some of the films are they're more okay and meh than good, and I know that's kind of a warning sign. Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man Quantumania, or whatever was honestly disappointing. That was actually kind of a bad film. But this isn't like as on that level, but it's not on the same level that I would be expecting from a quote Guardians movie. Um, there's this one scene that I did like that I did find kind of cute. Well, they go into this new Earth in a sense, this utopian furry animal Earth in a sense, because everyone's like animals and stuff and everything. I felt like that sequence was kind of cute. Peter, yeah, that's his name, Peter. So they meet up with this bat wife and everything, this bat lady and everything, and they meet up with this bat family and everything, and so they talked over and they figured out, this big old pyramid that this crazy maniac guy's in. I forget what this main villain's name even is. Honestly, he just seemed obnoxious, and I could get his motivation on perfection and everything, but I just felt like if they would have tapped it better into some of his backstory or why he's such a Hitler maniac in that way, in a sense, I feel like it really would have been better for the film. I felt like if they trimmed up some of the action sequences, not so much, like not in the sense to make them shorter or anything, but like to trim up as much action sequences, work a bit more on the characters, and trimmed up the length time. I feel like this film would be a lot better, honestly. Again, it's nothing bad, but it's not all too amazing either. Honestly, I would choose one or two over this third one, and overall, I feel like this film it was decent for what it was. It was just decent at best. It wasn't anything terrible or bad. It wasn't anything horrible, but it's not like the greatest or amazing either. It's just okay. It's just average. It's just decent at best. That's all I can really say about it. You know, it's all right with this film. So overall, with this final verdict, I would say a 6 or 7 out of 10. You know, a 6 or 7 out of 10, pretty much. I liked it a little more than hated it, but again, but yeah, damn that length, and especially with movie theaters now, they have like freaking 20, 30 minute previews now before the actual film actually starts. And that's one thing that I can see being tricky because the film that we went to as a family said 5:30, but the film didn't actually start until like 10 minutes before 6 or whatever. So I know that can be a bit confusing because you would think that like the film starts at 5 o'clock on the dot, but no, we gotta get through the bullshit previews and trailers and all that stuff, or freaking 25 damn minutes before the actual film starts. It's horrible. And with this film enough being as long as it is, this was like a 3 hour film. This was like a 3 hour and 15 minute or whatever film. It's really long. I definitely wished it was a lot shorter. By the time we got off the theater, I was just drained, because that's kind of the thing, and it's not anything bad. It's just packed with like a lot of action. It's good though. It's good. It's shot well and everything, and the choreograph or whatever it's called. A lot of the action scenes, they're really good, but they're a bit much. It just felt like kind of one thing after the other. It's like playing Timefall. It's like if you were to play Timefall 2 all day in a sense, you know, all fast paced and action and everything, you know, very bloated, you know, very hyper focused and everything for like 6 hours or so. You know, that stuff's just gonna tire you out and drain you because it's so in your face. It's not anything bad or anything, but it's just bloated a lot, and I kind of wish the story would have been significantly better if they trimmed out some of the action sequences, not have them be so much, and they dragged out the story too. It was one of those story bits where we would go back and forth between the present and the past or whatever, and I felt like it just kind of dragged out a lot, and it just kept going and going, and it just kind of got really annoying by around the end, because at least for me, I was just waiting for just just let the climax happen already, just let the third act happen already, you know. And then it would kind of tease, or you would get to thinking like it would get to that point, but no, it just kind of just kept going, you know. Something else would happen or something or whatever, so we gotta do this instead, you know what I mean. It just kind of felt like you would do a main quest, but then a couple side quests would pop up, so then you have to go and do those first, then get back to the main quest. That's what this kind of felt like in the sense. And you just wanted to, that's what it feels like. You just wanted to get to the main point, and it does, but there's a lot of filler and stuff in there. But yeah, that's enough of my rambling. Overall, I did like this film, but I probably wouldn't really see it again, or if I had to choose between the three films of this trilogy now, I would definitely say one or two over this one. The length's too long. The characters are okay. The jokes still land. The music's still awesome. It's just mainly the length, the villain, and the story that I feel like are the weaker aspects that downgrade this film. But overall, this film isn't all that bad. So, with all of that being said and done, I hope you folks enjoyed this video here. Let me know what you thought of the film. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe for more, and I'll see you folks sooner or later. Bye bye, everybody.